Hello everybody, welcome to OCHD and welcome to another Jumputi Heroes news video. It's been a little while since the last video, but that's because that Kimetsu no Yaiba event just didn't want to end. But we're here now, on the other side, talking about the World Trigger Feature Festival, which I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. It's technically the first one. We did have the My Hero Academia World Trigger crossover event, and since then we have had a few little bits of World Trigger content here and there. But this is the first feature festival that is dedicated only to this series, which is a bit of a surprise because the old producer of the game was actually a big World Trigger fan. And we never got a World Trigger event while he was here. And since he has left, it's been a while, and now we have finally got a World Trigger event. So it's odd, but you know what, it's fine. We're here now. And I've got to say, while there may be some problems, I think this is, for me, not a bad little event. And it was good enough that it got me to go back and actually start reading World Trigger again, because obviously there was that big hiatus, and I think shortly after that I like caught up to it, and then I just kind of stopped reading it. But I'm catching back up now. I'm almost completely caught back up, and it's very good. It's very good. So a few things we have to talk about here, because it is a short event. It's only 11 days. 11 days, is that right? Technically the login bonus started a little bit earlier, and that login bonus and this event here actually allow you to get the version 1 Osamu up to 6-star. If you already have him at max luck, then getting him up to 6-star, you'll get this copy that's got 50 luck, and bang, you have a 99 luck 6-star Osamu. And if you're new to the game, then maybe you only have this one, maybe you only get him up to 50, but hey, it's still pretty good. And you should get ample opportunity to pull extra copies of Osamu during this event, because they're going to give a lot of tickets and he is going to show up frequently. So look forward to that. And yeah, his event is just a very simple Evolver event. It actually restricts how many runs you can do. So I think it's 22 runs. Once you've done those 22 runs, you know you have all the materials you need to get him from his base 3-star, 4-star to 5-star and then to 6-star. So I quite like when they do that. They don't do that with like the Transcendence and stuff like that, because if they restrict the runs, it can be a bit of a problem if somebody wants to farm them later for like dual fragments or whatever. But with events like this and legendary quests, they normally restrict it, and I quite like it. I quite like it. You also get these tickets just for clearing the stage to 22 times and getting Osamu up to level 99. You don't need to get him to max luck, because technically he is a gacha unit, and for newer players that might be a little bit tricky, but you do have to get him to level 99. And these tickets, they do suck. Let's not get it twisted. These tickets suck, but still free summons. I think it's like a 1% chance to get a 5-star, and the 5-star can only be either Yuma or Chika, and then that's it. So expect to get a lot of Aikitoras, expect to get a lot of Osamus. Then there's ticket information right there. And then we have the daily stage. Now it does indicate that there is a special drop from this stage, but technically that's not true, because this part here on the right hand side of the banner is actually indicating something you get from the missions. You're actually going to get from the missions throughout this event, and we'll talk about that as we scroll down. But just clear the stage every day, especially if you're a new player. Very, very good. Lots of materials to level up and evolve your units. And if you're a veteran player, well, you got to do it to complete missions, so whatever. This is what I was talking about here, the missions. So these missions, you earn these points from clearing various missions, and you can get a number of different rewards. Now, that other ticket only giving you like a 50-50 chance of getting Yuma or Chika doesn't really matter that much, because you can just choose Yuma or Chika. I do believe they give us enough points that you can get both, plus all the other premium rewards. I could be wrong. But definitely pick up the rubies first, pick up the ticket first, And if you're missing either of those characters, then obviously then maybe go for them. But if you're, you know, like one of the veteran players that definitely already has these two, I'm not sure. Either count up the points or wait for the end and you've spent all the points on the good stuff before you buy any dupes. But definitely get the rubies first. That's the most important thing. And lots of missions, but really what it comes down to is for each of the events that are on, clear them 10 times. Except for the points event, where it says clear 30 times. I love when they do stuff like this, because if you go back up to here, it says clear the stage 1 times, 10 times, and 22 times. And if you clear the stage 22 times, you are done with the event. So if you're a new player, it wouldn't be that crazy to think, well, it says clear that one 22 times, so now I'm done with it. So if I go down here, all these stages I only need to clear like 10 times, except for the points event, I gotta clear 30 times. No. You gotta clear, I think that like Transcendence and Ultimate Class events, it depends where you're at in terms of if you have a 99 luck unit, and if you can clear the top difficulty stage, and if you've unlocked the My Ship bonus drops. But typically speaking, I think it's like 20 to 30 runs to max them out. And for the points event, it's gonna be comfortably 100 plus. I think for the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, it must have been thousands of runs to get everything in the store. So don't let the stage missions mislead you. That's just them giving you a goal to aim for to get the rewards. And this is one that is easy to miss. You have to include Osamu in your team in order to clear these missions. But the one nice thing they have done is they have made Osamu a decent booster on the points event. So most likely, if you do an auto formation for your team, it'll put him straight in there, and you're gonna have to do, as I said, more than 30 runs. So you should be okay on that one. And this is the ticket I was talking about. It gives you a guaranteed, well, it says a member of border. As far as I know, we don't know who's on this yet, unless I think you'd have to just earn it and buy it. I don't know if I have enough points to buy it, probably not. But the other ticket, like I said, you can only get Yuma or Chika, and this one actually has some of the slightly more interesting units. It doesn't appear to have version 1 use, but we kind of expected that because technically he's not a member of border. And who else could Arashiyama be on there? I don't know. I would have to check. But regardless, still pretty good because it's a guaranteed 5-star. I think you can only buy one of these tickets, so you get your one, and then whatever it is whatever it is. But still nice. Still nice that they give us at least one guaranteed 5-star. Now, there is something I haven't mentioned up until this point, and that's the special website, which had a guaranteed 2 6-star ticket, which is nice. As far as I know, that's not guaranteed to be World Trigger characters. It's just 2 random battle-ready characters, 5 stars that have been evolved into 6 stars from the standard gacha pool. However, there is an issue with that at the moment, and I'm not even 100% sure if the current reward has been... It doesn't look like it's been fixed yet. Basically, some people could claim it but couldn't use it, and some people couldn't even claim it. So, I haven't put anything about that in the news. I thought I should just mention it at least. But at some point they will fix that. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but when they do, if they do post a new link or something like that, I will post it in the Discord, or I'll probably at least mention it on Twitter. So make sure, if you're not in the Discord, you join. Link in the description. And if you're not following on Twitter, maybe you follow. But yes, next up we have the points event. As I mentioned before, you're going to have to clear this probably a lot more than 30 times, but it's a standard thing at this point. You collect points and you trade them for prizes, and amongst those prizes we actually have the emblems of the different squads. I should mention the Tamakoma branch one. If you have played this event for like a significant period in the past, there's a good chance you have this already because it was in another event. It was in the crossover event last year. I didn't even realize that, yes, we have in fact had this before, and they've put it back in the store. I was really confused as to why it wasn't in the data download. So just bear that in mind, because if I don't want people to waste points on it. I don't know how expensive it is, but there's no point buying an emblem if you already have it. Of course, if you don't and then you want it, then sure. But I think most people, I don't think I'm alone in this. When you see the emblems in the store, you just think it's so hard to farm points as it is to get the rewards. So then to get the emblems on top of that, it's just not worth it. I didn't see really many people buying the swords from the Kimetsu no Yaiba store as the emblems, and I don't know, these are a bit nicer at least. I would say these are a bit nicer because the swords kind of are what they are. It's a sword, it's a blue sword, it's a yellow sword, it's a pink sword, it's a black sword. But these are actually specifically from the manga, the actual icons for each of the squads, which I actually think is really cool. Like, if you're going to make an emblem, it's at least got to be something worth making into an emblem, I think. And I would argue this is something worth making into an emblem. I don't know if... I think this is... I could be wrong. I think this is all the ones they have shown in the manga up to a certain point, because for a lot of them, it just mentions the squad names. I could be wrong. But when I was looking on the wiki, I noticed a lot of the squads had no emblem listed. And so I don't know whether that's because it hadn't been shown or... I don't know. But this is what they have in the game as well, and they look pretty cool. I'm not going to buy any of them, but they look pretty cool. And you get the World Trigger Gacha tickets, which are the standard event gacha tickets. Will get you a chance of getting some goodies. You can see down here, the World Trigger standard gacha units should all be on there, which is pretty nice. That includes the newest edition, but realistically, this ticket is most likely, for most people, mostly going to be Aikitora and Osamu. So don't expect to get too much good from this, but definitely if you're a newer player, you're gonna have a chance at maybe getting a 5-star and maybe getting somebody you don't have. And as I mentioned before, as you can see from the boosters, Osamu is one of the top 4 listed boosters. So when they wanted you to include him in your team to clear some stages on Event Island, if you use the auto create function to build your team, it will automatically put him in there if you've ticked boosted units. And so it should be easy. For most players, it should be easy. And as for the rest of the boosters, good luck. If you're not summoning, good luck, because there are some massive boosters in the top 3 slots, but you got to pay for them. And the rest of the boosts are not very significant. So it's tough times. It's tough times. Then we have the Max Luck Special Reward Campaign, which we're starting to get these every event, which I think is kind of cool. 300 rubies, plus we get some tickets, plus we get an emblem if you can max luck all 4 units featured in this section. And the 4 units are Tatsuhito Ikoma, and you don't have to clear his special stage, but if you do clear his special stage, you will get a stamp which says eggplant curry. I don't know how useful that is as a chat stamp, because even if you can read Japanese, all it says is eggplant curry. But maybe you just like it. Maybe it's just a funny stamp. I don't know. You also have to get Azuma. Even though his stage is blue, you will have to be a blue stage to farm him. He drops as a red character, bear that in mind. And you will also need to max out Kageura and Ninomiya. Pretty nice. Like, if you're a fan of World Trigger, in terms of the collection of characters, I would say these are 4 quite prominent figures in the story that maybe some people would have said could have been used as gacha elsewhere. But still, I think it's pretty cool that they're all here. I would say it's a bit of a shame we've moved in the direction of every event. Pretty much everyone is a Transcendent, because they want it to be more accessible for the farming, and then they have the challenge stages be like their own separate thing like this, which partially I do think is kind of cool, because it means there's some stages that maybe wouldn't have had a challenge stage before. Maybe they would have been an ultimate class or whatever, but now they do get one. And I mean, most Transcendents don't have a challenge stage, but we're getting more nowadays. And like, I don't care about the rewards a lot of the time, and a lot of the time they are frustratingly difficult because not because they've been thought out in such a way that it's like, oh, this is like a challenging, rewarding battle, and it's more like, if you don't have this one unit, sucks for you, bro. And not just, a lot of the time, not just have this one unit, it's more like have this 3 or 4 very specific, very normally niche units, and you gotta have them jeweled out like crazy. And it's, I don't know, like, a lot of people are having a bit of trouble with these newer stages, not necessarily beating them, because a lot of the time you can just look up a guide. Somebody will have done it, and you might happen to have the units they had, but it's just not that rewarding, I don't think. Getting to the end of all of that, like, I don't know how difficult this stage in particular is going to be, but we have examples from past events where you get to the end and it's like, you get a stamp, you get an emblem. It's not great, but maybe that's something I can work on in the future. I don't know. But generally speaking, I think all the sprites look very good, and I'm very happy with the 4 additions they've chosen as farmables. I think maybe you definitely could have made an argument that at least one of these could have been promoted to standard gacha. It is what it is. They've gone down a path with the standard gacha and with the gacha formats in general and the event formats in general that I'm hoping at some point maybe they come back and take a different route. I don't know, but you know, it's fine, it's okay. The 4 farmables are very good, and obviously the one people are going to be paying the most attention to is the Ninomiya Kata stage, which gives you an aura costume if you clear it. Looks pretty cool. And we also have this little replica emblem stage, which, again, if you're going to make an emblem, it's got to be something kind of cool. And from this series, this is probably one of the things I'd quite like to see as an emblem, so I'm kind of okay with it. And a chance to fight Hyrain as an actual difficult stage, so that would be interesting. It's been a while since he was implemented in the game, a long while, and it's going to be like a challenge stage, so pretty cool. Yeah. Next up, the tower boost. Now this tower boost might it might look like any old tower boost, but I'll have you know it actually has a special bonus rule. And I don't really know how this works exactly, but what I think it is in the point scoring section at the end of your tower battle, one of the things you can be scored on is overkill. So if you kill someone and you hit their health to exactly 0 and you don't do any extra damage, you're not going to get any overkill points. But if you hit them for, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 million over their actual 0, so they're technically on like minus something, minus a million, I don't know, then you'll get bonus points because you have done overkill damage. And what seems to be the case for this particular tower week is the more overkill damage you do, the more points you will get. Yes, but they are going to boost the point gain as well. So they really want you to absolutely just hammer your opponent as much as you can, which I feel like that's kind of the point anyway. But I have a feeling the reason they've put that specific rule on during this specific week is because they released a new meta weakener in the limiteds, which may allow you to do more damage than before. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the case. In Tower, the new limited Hughes does 2 turns of 50% weakening, I believe, which is an incredible amount. So maybe it is possible. I don't know. But it's interesting. I've got to say it's interesting. I don't care about Tower, and so it probably won't affect me too much. But I feel like those that are heavily invested in Tower are either going to have a very fun week or a horrific week, depending on whether they pull the specific units they're going to need. Good luck to you, either way. Then we have the reprint rush. I kind of did this a bit differently than normal in the news post. I don't know how it looks, but I just kind of wanted to put it all out there. Like, if you're a World Trigger fan coming across this for the first time, here's all the characters, here's how you get them, sort of thing. So hope that's useful for any new World Trigger fans that did happen to stumble across it. And there's a few characters in the past that we've had that you can farm during this event. Weirdly, a lot of them seem to be listed to end on the 20th, and I don't know why, because I think they're all going to be in the logbook anyway, and they're going to be half stamina double drop anyway. So I don't know why it says that in the news. I don't know if that's a mistake. Bear in mind, not a mistake on my part necessarily, but rather the devs listed the 20th for a lot of these events. I don't know why, but there you go. And I mean, that would mean they end like tomorrow, but they don't end tomorrow. You're going to be able to still farm them, just probably in the logbook rather than in the actual event section. I don't know why they've done it this way, but they have. But yes, lots of World Trigger characters from past events, and also a Legend Summon. Now, the Legend Summon in particular, if that ends on the 20th, then you're out of luck because that event does not go in the logbook. They've got a thing where then they're putting some of the evolvers in there. They're putting like most of the farmable characters in there, but Legend Summons, they are not. And I don't know why, but they're not. So if you ever see one of these stages up and you don't have them, you should probably try and max them out as quickly as you can, because Legend Summons do normally give some nice rewards for maxing them out. But yes, quite a few characters. This is an important event, but also not really. And the reason I say not really is because this is one of the items that is in the logbook, so you can pretty much access it at any time. But it's not that the event is in the logbook, but rather the item is in the logbook. So you can get the item from the logbook just passively, just from farming World Trigger events that are listed in the logbook. And you will earn World Trigger points or World Trigger Voyage Log points, and you can trade those not only for the trigger item but also for copies of this particular version of Osamu, which if you do it through this event, I think he's available in missions, but if you do it through the logbook later, or you just farm other events in the logbook later, you can buy him with points and you can buy the trigger with points. And as far as I know, there's not much else to buy from the World Trigger Voyage Log. So if you're planning to farm old World Trigger events, you probably don't need to do this, but that's up to you. But regardless, Aikitora, which is the one from the standard gacha, can be evolved to 6-star using this item. And this version of Osamu, which is not from the standard gacha, from this event or from the Voyage Log, can be evolved to 6-star. Little bit confusing that they put Kitora and Osamu on the same image, even though they're next to each other in the standard gacha, but it's a different version of Osamu. It's a bit weird, but yes, an opportunity to get both your Osamus to 6-star. Very cool. Then we have a few more events. Now, this one I'd like to bring to people's attention, because this is one of those things that's sort of easy to miss. There are items in this store. This is a points event. Now, there aren't too many items in this store, but there's still a few. And if you're a new player, I mean, you might not know. If you go back and clear the daily stage of this event, which I think costs 1 stamina. It might be 5 stamina, but I think it's 1. Either way, you clear it once a day and you'll get some of these spiders, and you'll be able to trade those in for rewards. All you've really got to do is go back and clear that first stage once a day, and I think over the course of the event you'll get enough to buy at least most of the goodies from the store. So worth remembering, it's easy to miss. And I thought it was best to mention the fact that Shin Midorikawa is available but isn't listed as part of the World Trigger event, so I thought I'd put it in the news post just for people that don't know, for new players, because he's part of another event that was sort of... They used to be called super class events, and it used to be a way to farm these 4-star characters, and in a sense they sort of retired them but sort of didn't. They just sort of repurposed them, but the actual event he used to be on is not... The banner doesn't exist anymore. It had an event name and everything. That's gone, and he is now just part of the yellow skill training dungeon. So he is a blue boss and he drops as a blue character, And if you bring yellow characters along on his stage, he will boost their skill EXP, so you'll earn boosted skill EXP over time by using them, eventually be able to get them up to level 6, or if you've got it unlocked, level 12. And you can farm him along the way, but you cannot get him to 6-star, and he's pretty old, so he's not super useful, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Then we have the gacha. Now the gacha has been a point of controversy because the gacha format, they just can't seem to figure out what they want to do. They just want more money, and I get it, times are tough and you want more money. Hell, I want more money, everybody wants more money, but you gotta do it right. And I think this, while I can understand what they were trying to do with this one, I think it's another miss. I think it's another miss, another limited gacha that people are gonna pull on. Of course they're gonna pull on it, but I feel like it maybe doesn't do the numbers they probably would have done if the format was a little bit less daunting. For example, if you're somebody that loves Hughes, or you're somebody that wants the new red meta weakener Hughes, then you want him specifically. You don't necessarily want Yuma and Osamu. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you wouldn't mind to get them as well, but realistically, you got your priorities straight. You want to summon for one limited here. Well, guess what? You are out of luck, my friend, because you cannot do that. They are on the same banner, and you cannot guarantee Hughes until you have done 15 multis on this banner. Which obviously, because he is quite strong, he is quite powerful, and I think going forward he's going to get a decent amount of use in various places. I think a lot of people will go all 15 multis if they have to get a copy of him, which is a little bit troubling. Obviously, if you're the kind of person that wanted both, or just wanted one, didn't matter which one, you just wanted a World Trigger Limited, then in that case, this format is somewhat acceptable, actually. You know, we've gone down from 10 multis to get a guaranteed limited down to 9, but that's because it's a random featured limited rather than a specific one. So you'll get one of the two, not guarantee which one is. You have to wait until the choice ticket before you can guarantee which one you get. Obviously, whichever one you don't get on the 9th multi, you would choose the other one if you wanted both. Now, one of the weird parts of this for me is they have put the guaranteed hero grade 5-star unit on the 5th multi, but there is only one. So you do 5 multis and you get your guaranteed hero, which is Yoko Katori, and then you've got the new hero. Great. And then on the 12th multi, you get her again. I don't know why. I don't know why. They could have easily featured version 1 Hughes, who came out a little bit earlier this year. Maybe feature Arashiyama, because he came out a little bit earlier this year. Admittedly, I got a bit annoyed with them when they did that at Kimetsu no Yaiba, but that's because to get Tamayo guaranteed, you had to do extra multis because you had to choose her. There was no point at which she was guaranteed. Like, if you did guaranteed and you just got the new unit on a set multi, and then maybe, for example, on the 5th multi, you get her guaranteed, then on the 12th multi, maybe you give me a choice ticket and I can just choose any hero grade World Trigger unit, including her, if I do want to dupe of her, and if I don't, I can choose one of the others. Like, maybe I don't have Hughes. That's entirely possible. But instead, you just get another copy of her, which is... It's a bit disappointing, I've got to be honest, but, you know, it is what it is. And actually, interestingly, on the 15th multi, it's not just a limited. I know I've written limited there. It's not just a limited. You can choose between the 2 limiteds and her. So if you wanted to, you could get her guaranteed on the 5th multi, guaranteed on the 12th multi, and you could choose her on the 15th multi. But why the hell would you do that? Why did they even give you... Why would they give you the option to do that and wouldn't give you the option to choose other heroes earlier? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I do really feel like with these banners, it should be more like the hero and limited banners they've done, where you get more World Trigger characters as you go through. Like, yes, give me Katori guaranteed on the 5th multi. That's fine. But then on other multis, maybe, like I said, you could give World Trigger choice tickets on the higher up steps, and on the lower steps, maybe you could just give me a random World Trigger character. Like, I think that would be good. There's plenty of people that are going to be missing the ones from this year, so why not? And there's going to be plenty of new players playing just for World Trigger who are going to want to pull the old units, but you've put them on another banner. So if I get them on, well, Hughes and Jun, are, as far as I know, are not available on this banner at all. Except the version 2 Hughes, obviously. And I'd have to pull on the other banner for them. Or I could pull on this one and hope I get one of the 5-star heroes from like the last few years. So it's dumb. It's kind of dumb. I'm kind of not a big fan of this format. I think maybe... Is it better than some of the other banners? I don't think it is. Well, I don't think it's the worst banner we've ever had. But it's not good. It's not good for me. But if you wanted all of the characters regardless, then at the end of the day, the price is the same. 15 multis, so go for it. And I do also like how they got rid of 16, 17, and 18 being limited doors. Mainly because I feel like that was just their way of saying specifically to people who are going to spend a lot on banners that, you know, to go fuck themselves, basically. Because you get to the 15th multi, you got to do 3 more multis before you can start again. Admittedly, yes, that is a rare situation, but I just don't know why it's there. I have no idea why it's there at all. After you spent that much on the banner, like, at least if you've done the 15 multis, if you wanted to do the other 500 discount multi again, just let me do it. Don't make me do 3 more multis before I do it. Not that you would. I'm not saying that's good practice, but, you know, I'm just saying. Anyway. This was what I was talking about. No, it's not. This is not a Hero Unlimited. This is just a limited banner. I think there was there a Hero Unlimited? Oh, there can't be a Hero Unlimited banner for World Trigger because these are technically the first World Trigger limiteds. Well, these ones are here, but they're dual units, obviously, so that doesn't quite work. So okay, I can see why they've done it this way. These are the duos from the crossover event, Deku and Jin, and Yuma and Bakugo. And they actually made this banner not too shabby because it's 7th multi to get one or the other. And during the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, they did the same thing. But when they did it on the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, it was for like really old units. It was for like Rengoku and Tanjiro, who came out like 3-4 years ago. And these guys, it wasn't 3-4 years ago. It was much more recent than that. So, I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I think that's kind of cool. I would say, is it worth it? That's up to you. That's really up to you if you really like these units. I mean, they're good. They are good units. Then maybe it's worth it. But if you're looking for one specifically, then this banner can't give you that. You could summon on it infinite times and not get the one you want. It's just luck of the draw. So that's up to you. Then we have this gacha, which again, if you're a beginner, has its upsides because you can get a bunch of World Trigger characters. That being said, it feels kind of weird telling people to summon on this when you're going to get a bunch of World Trigger free summons, and this doesn't really guarantee you a specific unit either. So typically speaking, I steer people away from spending rubies on standard gacha only banners nowadays. But I mean, I guess if you were just here for World Trigger, say if you just wanted like Kei Tachikawa or someone like that, then yeah, I guess maybe, yeah, I guess I can see the upside. And then we have the Wano reprint rush. Now, it doesn't actually reprint all the Wano events, which I find a bit weird, but technically they didn't actually list this in game, so whatever. But they added this particular feature festival, One Piece Feature Festival, to the logbook. And when they did that, they're going to feature all the events from this particular feature festival. So if you want to get the old Wano characters, I think a lot of them are already in the logbook. So go nuts, I guess. Why they've added this now and why they've made an event out of this, I have no idea. But if I had to guess, I would say maybe it's because they felt World Trigger was a bit of a risk compared to some of the bigger series they've been doing recently. And so they just wanted the safety blanket of having some One Piece stuff for other fans, people that maybe don't know World Trigger, which I mean, I guess it's fair enough. It doesn't interrupt or detract from the World Trigger event, so yeah, okay, I guess. Again, I don't think the Legend Summon will be available from the logbook. So if you haven't got this one, even if you're not really interested in the One Piece stuff, maybe at least try and get that. And I don't think the emblems go into the logbook either, but I mean, the emblems don't matter. The emblems don't matter. But definitely this event, and definitely also this event. As I mentioned before, the World Trigger Spiders farming stage, making sure to at least clear the daily stage each day. Maybe do the same with this. I think there's more stuff in this store than there is in the Spiders one, but either way, do make sure to at least earn some of the Odin and trade it in for some of the rewards, because again, easy to miss. And yeah, they are reprinting Luffy, which is cool for people that missed out on Luffy, except not really, because they have made his banner worse. He cost the exact same amount, 10 multis. However, you don't get the One Piece new heroes from that event on the way up to summoning him. On that event previously, you had had a chance at the Wano versions of Sanji, Jinbei, although it's just normal Jinbei, Sanji, Jinbei, and Frankie. Now, they're not here. In fact, they're not even available on this banner at all. So, kind of a dick move, I gotta be honest, kind of a dick move, but I guess if you're really desperate for Luffy, then this is the best way to get him at the moment. So, there you go. And we have Fuki returning. Again, I mentioned before how I felt like maybe they saw this event as a risk, and I think that's why Fuki's here, because they wanted to reprint a Muso. And okay, I guess I can kind of see it, but at the same time, nobody has the rubies for this. Nobody. For those unfamiliar, Muso characters cost 32 multis, which, with all the different steps equated and accounted for, that equals 24,000 rubies, which is too much, probably. But definitely, as it stands, with how they've been rewards recently, I won't say they're necessarily getting better in the last week or so, but we've at least been seeing some minor improvements. But definitely overall, the rubies over the past few months have been so sparse compared to how they were in the past, and I just don't think anybody has the rubies for an unannounced reprint of one of the most expensive characters in the game. But he's strong, and if you're a big fan, who am I to stop you? And we have sales packs, which I'm going to be brutally honest with the sales packs, as I tend to try and be. This one is not worth it. This one is not worth it. This one, it's not bad. 1,000 rubies for 1,200 yen. Typically, I would say a pack is good value if the rubies and the yen have roughly the same value, or if you are getting more rubies than yen. So we're getting slightly less rubies than yen here, 1,000 rubies for 1,200 yen, but it's pretty close. It's not too bad. I mean, normally you would pay, like, for 3,000 rubies, you'd pay like 10, no, it's like 12,800 yen. And then if it allowed you to buy 3 of these packs, which it doesn't, but if it did, it would only cost you 3,600 yen for 3,000 rubies. So there is value in that pack. I don't think it's the best value, but it's alright. It's alright. I should probably say why these packs suck. This one is far too expensive, and you shouldn't pay extra just to get Muso doors, because Limit Break is, as it stands, not that important. Then we have the ticket pack, which again, you could be tempted if you're a World Trigger fan, but 6,400 yen is a lot to pay, and it just lets you choose one of these characters. So I don't think it's worth it, for me personally, to spend that much money for 1,000 rubies and an old World Trigger unit. It's cool that if you can get like the newer ones, yeah, I guess, but yeah, for me, it's no. Then we've got this pack, which gives you 1,500 for 4,800 yen. It's not really worth it. And this one is 4,100 for 12,800 yen. It's not worth it, but if you're one of these mega whales, this is better value for bulk, which they don't really do enough of, I don't think. It could definitely be cheaper, but in terms of value for bulk, if you're a big buyer, then I guess yeah, that one might be for you, but not for me. These packs are never worth it. 6,400 yen gets you 500 rubies and a multi, which will be all 5-star, and the first unit in the multi will be a guaranteed limited from a select pool. But because it's random, you could get some of the first limiteds on the game that suck, or you could get, I mean, just any random one. So for me, it's not worth it, but it's not worth it. Then we have the once a week battle ready pack. You shouldn't be paying money for random old 5-star units that have been evolved to 6-star. That's not value. And 1,900 yen for 100 rubies is not value either. So this is not worth it. I don't know why they're saying you can buy this once a week, because I wouldn't want to buy it once at all. And then we have these packs, which I believe are once a week as well, though I haven't checked. 300 limited doors or 500 event doors for 3,800 yen. If you spend money on this, you're a fucking moron. You are a stupid idiot. That is so much money for essentially nothing. For nothing. There is no value in this whatsoever. You don't even get any rubies. You just get some limit break doors. You can limit break your characters. Limit break is stupid pointless at the moment. Yeah, you get a slight stat buff. It helps you in some situations. Yeah, it helps you in Super Dimensional Battle, which, by the way, is closed, and we can't do it again until December anyway. I can't believe they think people are going to buy these. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the whales are like, damn, that's great value, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Then we have this pack, which sucks. It gives you like 2 sets of jewels instead of 1, and for some reason that justifies cutting the amount of rubies you would normally get from a pack this big in half. Admittedly, yes, it's at the 9,800 yen price tag rather than the 12,800 yen price tag, but that doesn't make any sense, and the rewards in the middle probably suck too, so not worth it. And then we have this pack, which gives you 3,000 rubies and 1 of each jewel, which is a classic whale pack, and it is so not worth it. The fact that they let you buy this 6 times, like, I'm not a businessman, so I don't know, but like, how does it make any sense? You put an artificial limit of 6 times you can buy this horrific pack, and it's like, is that like a thing? Like, people were buying too many of these packs? Like, you felt like these packs were too good value, and so you had to limit them. It doesn't make any sense. It just, like, I get the packs up here that it's like sort of good value and you can only buy it once, or this one's like sort of high bulk but you can only buy it once. Like, they were like, yeah, 6 times is a good limit because people can buy it 6 times and I get enough jewels to max out the character, and they can get what, like 18,000 rubies, which is not enough to get a Muso. It's not enough to get a Densetsu, which is like a Muso but more expensive. It's enough to get... Is it enough to... Well, I suppose it would be enough to do a full rotation on the limited banner, because that's going to be like, what, 13,250? Something like that? So, or 14? It might be 14,250. Yeah, 14,250. So technically, if you bought that pack 6 times and you spent like $500 fucking dollars, then yeah, okay, I guess you can get both the limiteds from the World Trigger banner, and you can duel one of them up to max. But my god, the prices have lost their minds. This pack is just like the other pack that gave you $300, except now it gives you $500 and it costs 6,400 yen. You can only buy it once, and it's enough doors to get a limited character up to max limit break. Don't buy this, please, I'm begging you. And then we have the leak stuff. Now this shit pissed me off. I haven't talked too much about this because I mean it only happened this morning and I didn't really want to go on a rant on Twitter. But these devs are arseholes. They are arseholes. So this came out right at the start of the World Trigger, not the World Trigger, the Kimetsu no Yaiba event. The start of that was like almost a month ago at this point. It was so long ago. And they said, if you get all of these characters, huge list of characters to max luck, everyone you get to max luck, I think it's 22 here, everyone you get to max luck, we will give you a ticket. And this ticket guarantees you a Kimetsu no Yaiba character. Guarantees you a Kimetsu no Yaiba character. Now, I want to be clear. I want to be crystal fucking clear. This was not a mistranslation by me. And the way I know for a fact that it was not a mistranslation by me is if you go to the news and you click on the news post about this ticket, it specifically says they changed the details and they updated it to more reflect what the ticket was actually supposed to give you. Now, let me explain. If it guaranteed you a Kimetsu no Yaiba character, a hero grade Kimetsu no Yaiba character, that would mean it is a guaranteed 5-star ticket. And as one ticket is all you need to summon on this gacha one time, that would mean you would be guaranteed 22 Kimetsu no Yaiba 5-star characters. That's a lot, right? And at the time, I thought that was a lot. But as the event went on, I noticed it was still there. And it stayed there throughout the entire event. They never corrected it. So I was like, I guess they are just giving us 22 5-star characters. It's not something I should get my hopes up for, but I mean, it does say it in the news. Then the World Trigger event started. And we've had the data download since then. And this campaign was just about to give us the rewards. And I thought, let me check one more time. Before I make this World Trigger news post, let me check one more time and make sure they are genuinely giving us a guaranteed Kimetsu no Yaiba character every summon. And so I check, and what do you know? It still says it. It still says it. And then, this morning, after they already gave the tickets out, a few hours after they already gave the tickets out, might I add, they updated it to say, actually, what we meant was, these tickets have the normal ticket rate, and if you happen to get a 5-star, it's guaranteed to be a Kimetsu no Yaiba character. Now, the reason I think this is fucking horseshit is because we already have multiple Kimetsu no Yaiba gacha tickets. And they could have put any of them in this event. It would have avoided any confusion, even if they put the wrong information there, because we know what those tickets are. They instead invented a new ticket, which does something that the other tickets already do. They could have put any of the other... They could have, if they only wanted to include characters from last year, they could have put the Infinite Castle ticket. If they wanted to include characters from this year, they could have put the Kimetsu no Yaiba gacha ticket version 2. If they wanted to include characters from the first pool, they could have put the... I think it was called like the Demon Slayer ticket or the Kimetsu no Yaiba ticket or whatever. But instead, they've invented a new ticket. And then after they've already given it to everybody, said, oh, by the way, it doesn't actually do anything special. It's just a normal ticket. So what was the fucking point? What was the point? I don't understand. They have... It pisses me off. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm blowing this out of proportion, but they had a month to sort this shit out. They had a whole month to at any point just go, oh yeah, we made a mistake. But instead they waited until people already summoned and they were like, hey, what the hell? And they were like, oh no, you thought you get a guaranteed 5-star every ticket. No, we don't do that here. So instead, these tickets suck. And that's the end of the story, I guess. If you want to max the Kimetsu no Yaiba characters and get a minuscule chance of getting something somewhat worthwhile, I guess, I don't know, then sure. But ultimately, these are just normal Kimetsu no Yaiba gacha tickets. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's a 5% rate, and it doesn't even include like the characters who was added this year. Tamayo doesn't include Tamayo. I can't remember if there's any other Kimetsu no Yaiba characters added this year, but I mean, they're probably not in it. If I mean, I don't. Sanemi is in there, but version 2 Sanemi is not. So Obanai is not in there. So this is just one of the old Kimetsu no Yaiba tickets, basically. It's not even the equivalent of the new one, and you got a 5% chance to get a 5-star. Honest to God, like, I know a lot of people probably think this is not a big deal, but the devs have been doing a lot of things recently that have seemed like really douchey, really stingy, really greedy, and I needed this to be a nice reward. I thought that because it was Kimetsu no Yaiba and I always favourite that series, there's so much favouritism, I thought that maybe this time we'd get an actual nice reward. You'd get like 22 5-stars from Kimetsu no Yaiba. I know that seems like a lot, but realistically all those units there are quite old, and it's an opportunity to maybe get them to max skill. It's an opportunity to obtain them for the first time, maybe some new players. Nah, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But that pissed me off. That's what pissed me off today. I don't know why that, of all things that devs have done recently, was the thing that really got to me. But that really got to me. So, hopefully they'll make that up to us at some point. But most likely, they will not. Next up, we have the Stamina Tanker campaign. Clear any 30 Transcendent class stages during the event period and get 20 Stamina Tankers. Very, very cool. Then we have the login bonus update, which now gives you slightly more rubies, which is pretty nice. And instead of waiting every 15 days, it's every 10 days. And it's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. The daily summon update is maybe a different story. Because this update now does not give you a guaranteed 5-star. The other one would give you a guaranteed 5-star every 7 days, I believe. I've written every 10 days there, but I think that's wrong. I think it was every 7 days. But regardless, maybe it was every 10 days. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, this one gives you no guaranteed 5-star anywhere. I mean, technically you'll get a guaranteed 5-star, but not guaranteed 5-star character. It'll be like a scroll or an evolver item or a limit break door or something like that. But 3% rate, technically, is that good? I don't know. Because you get a free multi, yeah? Which means like every 100 summons, you'd be expecting free 5-star characters. And so that would be like every 10 days, you'd be expecting free 5-star characters. Like immediately there, you've put it up to luck rather than giving us a guarantee. But I mean, ultimately, I think theoretically, you should come out better off over the course of however long. Plus, you'll get other rewards alongside it. I think... I don't know. I think technically it's better. Technically it is, but just removing the guarantee is kind of a dick move. But I think over the course of, I don't know how long, a few months, I think it should even out a little bit. And it'll get to a point where it's like, okay, this is not bad. I've got a decent amount of 5-stars from this. Because I mean, as much as there's been plenty of people I've seen who have got nothing from it so far after 3-4 days, I've seen people pull like 2 5-stars in one multi here and there. So you know what I'm saying? Like technically, I don't know. I don't like that it's left up to chance, but technically, based on probability, people should come out better off. That's what I'm trying to get out. I'm struggling. But yes, then we have more Wano stuff, which hasn't officially been announced yet. The limited and hero gacha will give you a chance to get Yamato, Odin, I assume Kaido, but I don't know, and Zorojuro, and probably not Luffy, and I don't know if there's any others. I can't think of any others, but there are also heroes on here. We don't know the details of the heroes yet. I'm kind of hoping they're gonna put the like Wano heroes in here, like the Sanji and the Jinbei. And I don't know if any of the old heroes would count as Wano, but you get what I mean. Oh, like Nami. Nami is surely a Wano one. I don't know what they're going to do with this. Either way, if you're a One Piece fan, especially of the Wano arc, then hey, maybe this is one for you. Maybe. They've done, I think, we don't have the full details on this banner yet. So they may have gone up to the 18th multi, they may have not. We will see. Then we have this banner, which for some bizarre reason is giving us a free multi. I'm not going to question it too much because I want a free multi. Hopefully this banner does come out and we do get a free multi. And it's limited in heroes that place bombs and boost attack. So it's a really weird banner to me, but again, do I care if I'm getting a free multi? Heck, I might get lucky and get Bakugo on a free multi. I'll take it. Then we have the Bubble Protection Limited Gacha. This is a big whale banner because this banner has free highly sought after characters because that Bubble Protection skill is straight up super powered. When it comes to some of the more difficult challenge stages, is so good. It's so good to have. There are some stages, some older stages that were so difficult, and it's like, oh, if you have bubble protection here, like you ain't gonna worry about nothing. And for a lot of people who missed out on Roger, this banner might be quite tempting, but I have a feeling it's gonna be super expensive. So just bear that in mind. And then we have this banner, which has a bunch of different double tap units on it. Similarly tempting, but I think it's got a big enough range of characters that not too many people are going to be tempted. And then we have the start of something horrible. The Black Friday event. Now, as far as I know, Black Friday is only adding one character. And it is a limited gacha character. So don't get excited for more content because there is none. But there are going to be gacha. Now, I know what you're thinking. Black Friday, I mean, typically it's about, you know, consumerism. It's about making money. It's about buying shit. So, okay, I get from that perspective not adding any new events. But the sales packs kind of suck. And the gacha also kind of sucks. I don't really know what they're trying to do here. Like, if I go on Amazon Black Friday sale, I get like a Amazon Fire Stick, like reduced price or whatever. Then maybe I've bought it and I feel like I've got a deal and I feel like I'm coming out on top. Otherwise, why would I buy it? Here, like, I don't feel like I'm getting a deal. So I don't know. This particular banner has like steps, and by the 8th multi, you're guaranteed to get a 5-star limited character, and the 3rd multi is free. So instead of 8,250, which used to be the standard 9 multi price, it's now 8 multi, so 8... No, wait. Instead of 8,250, it's 7,250. But instead of 7,250, it's actually 6,250 because no 3rd multi. So 6,250 for a guaranteed limit. Not the worst in the world. Assuming it's these 4 characters featured on the banner, then it's not too bad value because that's 4 pretty good units. But if there's like a bunch of different units on here, then this sucks and don't summon on it. Then again, generally speaking, maybe don't summon on it. That's up to you. It's difficult with the bait banners nowadays just because there's so many of them and people just don't have any rubies. But there might be some value to this, especially like 4th multi, you get like a limited choice ticket fragment. I'm imagining that's a version 1 limited choice ticket fragment. And yeah, I mean, there's maybe some value in this, I don't know. But then there's this banner, the new limited character, the Toguro brothers. We don't actually know the official title. We just know that it's not considered a dual unit. It's just considered to be another version of Toguro. Don't know why. But yes, we have the Toguro brothers for Black Friday. And we have no information on this banner other than the fact that the 2nd multi gives a guaranteed 5-star unit and the 3rd multi is free. Beyond that, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. And so we don't actually even know if Toguro is guaranteed. If he is guaranteed, what step is he guaranteed on? How many steps does this banner have? We just know nothing. So it will be interesting to see. I'm praying for the people that are fans of Yu Yu Hakusho and fans of Toguro that maybe they get a good deal. Because it's Black Friday and it's all about good deals and I want a good deal. So I'm hoping it's a good deal, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think this banner's gonna suck. It says there's 102 featured limited units on it. Like, I just think there's no way this banner doesn't suck. I think Toguro might end up being the most expensive limited ever released, if he's even guaranteed on any step. So approach this banner with caution, wait for the full info to come out, and we will see what's what there. And then we have the Black Friday handpicked selection choice ticket pack. It is the same as the normal handpicked selection choice ticket pack. They just put the words Black Friday on it, and they changed the images on the banner. But ultimately, it's just got a few characters from earlier this year and a choice ticket and 1,000 rubies, and it's too expensive, and don't buy it. Then we have this banner. I don't really need to talk about this again because we already talked about one of these before. It's the same thing, just with One Piece characters. Again, it's not worth it. Don't buy it. Don't. Have you noticed how they put Yamato on everything? And it's because Yamato is fucking super powerful, has really good support. So of course they put Yamato on everything. But it's bait. It's bait. I reckon that One Piece banner, I reckon that's got like Gear 4 Luffy on it. And everything. It's got like all the old limits. So don't be baited. Then we have this pack, which gives you a limited choice ticket. Is it worth it? Not really. But then again, arguably, 12,800 yen only gets you at most like 4,100 rubies. And if you're going for a returning limited, it's going to cost you a lot more than that amount of rubies to get the limited. And if you could just choose them from this ticket, then maybe there's some value to that. But again, we're talking whale strategies. We're talking about people that are going to spend a lot of money on the game. So not for most players, but there are some circumstances where this might be worth it for you. Then we have the same thing, but this time it's not Black Friday. And again, the same applies as applied here. Then we have this one, which gives a random limited. Don't buy it. I know it's a lot cheaper, 4,900 yen, but it's probably got every limited under the sun. Don't buy it. Then we have this pack, which I don't know why they're releasing it because it sucks. It's worse value than anything else they're doing, so I don't understand this one. I don't know why it exists. Don't buy it. Then we have this one, which arguably it brings us back to the old price point for 3,000 rubies, 9,800 yen. You still get free jewels with that. Plus you get a bunch of other like limit break materials and scrolls and stuff, and you get a guaranteed 5-star ticket. Arguably there is some value in this, especially for people who are higher tier spenders, but ultimately it is still very expensive at a time when they're not giving us a lot of freebies, so that's going to come down to you. I wouldn't say this is the best value, but if you're going to be spending a lot more, if you're going to be spending enough to get one of these 3,000 rubies packs, this is a little bit cheaper, so that's up to you. Then we have this pack and this pack and this pack, which are just awful. Why are they even releasing this? Just awful. Yeah, 1,200 yen. I suppose that's not a lot for 100 limit break doors, but only because you charge so much for 100 limit break doors. So what's going on? And you get an extra jewel as well. They're splendid, fantastic. Why would I buy this? And then we have this pack, which is 2,400 yen for 1,000 rubies and a bunch of Evolver items. Not worth it. Don't buy it. Then we have this pack, which is what is going on? Which is actually the only true good value pack. I'm not going to say it's pretty good value. It's not bad. It's quite decent. This is good value because it's the only time the amount of rubies you receive exceeds the amount of yen you are paying, which is the first time in this whole news post. 480 yen for 500 rubies. You buy that pack 3 times. That is 1,500 rubies for not even 1,500. Well, I did really bad with the maths there. For like 1,440 yen. Let's go back up here and see how much they were charging for 1,500. 4,800 yen, and you can get it for 1,400 yen. So, oh no, 1,440. Sorry, but still pretty good. Pretty good. I've gone too far. I've gone too far. Let's scroll back up. Yeah, so that pack is actually good value, and if you want to buy it, go ahead. I'm definitely going to be buying it. I'm going to buy all 3 because I need to stock up on some rubies, and this is a good sale pack. The packs underneath it, is this middle pack good? Hell no. Hell no. Do not buy this middle pack. I hate when they use this ticket here. It looks like a normal multi-ticket, but it's actually a superstar ticket. So it's a multi-summon, but it's a multi-summon on the superstar gadget, which means there are limiteds in there and there are other stuff, but there's no guaranteed 5-star. You could summon that ticket, it could be all like 4 stars and 3 stars. So it's that incentive is awful. Unless you were going to give summons out like that cheaper, then maybe, but it's so expensive. And then we have this pack, 9,800 yen. Again, I mentioned before, going back to the old price point, but this time you get 4,500 rubies plus a bunch of other rewards. Now, I would like to point out, you don't get your jewels here, but instead you get a multi that will be all 5-star, and the first 5-star will be a limited. So arguably, if you're going to spend big, this actually might be the best pack going. But again, the price point is very high, and the one thing that is kind of an issue with Black Friday is it's towards the end of the month, so a lot of people are going to be waiting on the next paycheck, and that's really not a good time to be spending a shitload of yen. Now, I mean, the price of the yen is quite low at the moment. I mean, how much is 9,800 yen in Great British pounds? It's less than £60. It's like 50 something, £58, something like that. That will vary depending on the time this sale actually comes out, but yeah, I guess that's not bad. If you wanted to buy all three, that's going to cost you over £150 though. That's quite a lot. Then again, you do get a limited, but then again, it is a random limited, and it could be anybody. But then again, you do get 4,500 rupees, which is quite a lot. But the other rewards kind of suck. You don't get any jewels. It's tough. It's tough. If you're a big spender, I mean, the value, again, the quantity works out with the price if you are a big spender. It's not a good sale pack in the same sense that this pack up here is a good sale pack because you're getting more rubies than yen spent, but I think it sort of has its place for those bigger spenders. So, I mean, don't go too crazy, guys. If you're going to spend money, spend it on, like, other stuff, like life. Spend it on stuff you need and stuff you want and enjoy your life. But, you know, if you really have the disposable income and you want to go nuts, you just want to go nuts and you want to get loads of rubies, then yeah, I guess there's some value in this. I don't know. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and sooner or later, I will have another video for you. I don't know when and I don't know where, but soon. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.